Hello friends, I'm Mary and welcome to my channel Rocky Mountain Gardens. Today I am going to be giving you the first of two videos that will help you learn how to make bows. And there are different varieties of bows that you can make, different styles and different techniques. And if you look through YouTube and people's blogs and so on, you'll see lots of different varieties of bows. And so I do want to share with you some of those bows. And today I'm going to make two bows, two different types. And in my next video, we'll continue with some other varieties. So I want to show you that here on my table, I have lots of different ribbons. I like to have a good selection when I'm going to make a bow. And so look at this pretty red buffalo check ribbon. And I have different bows that I'm going to be making for different purposes for Christmas. As the holidays are coming upon us, I thought, well, I'll just make some bows that I'm actually going to be using. And if you saw earlier my video that showed, it was called Junktique, Trash to Treasure. And in that video, I found and refinished a chair that I'm going to be using in my Christmas decor. And for that chair, I do want to make a really pretty bow to go with, the little vignette I'm going to put it with. So today we're going to make that bow. Now the bow we're going to start with is a bow that is called the Funky Bow. Now there's a girl on YouTube named Julie Samako, and she originated this bow. And as far as I can know, she had a great idea for this bow to use up ribbon scraps that she had lying around. And so she put together this concept of a funky bow. And then Arlen from Arlen's Country Craft Corner, she also kind of took that idea and made it her own and has made lots of videos, tutorials on how to make a funky bow. So in case you haven't seen either of them, I'm doing a funky bow today, like I said, and it's going to be for my little antique child's chair. Now we're going to start. I wanted to share with you the fact that I use, what are these called? Pipe cleaners. I use pipe cleaners for fastening my bows together. Now there are people on line on YouTube and other places. Let's see if I can show you these little florist wires. They're very thin, they're dark green colored, so they kind of blend in with foliage. And this is what florists often use to create different things with their arrangements. But I find these are very hard to manage. They're so thin, and I don't know, I just don't think they're as easy to work with. So I recommend that you go and buy yourself some pipe cleaners. Now I have a package of green, but I also at the Dollar Tree bought this package that has sort of sparkly colors, and it has gold, silver, red, and then a sparkly green. This is perfect for bows that you're going to be making for the holidays. So if you'd like to get some inexpensive pipe cleaners, these are only $1. I think I got the green ones, these ones that are don't have sparkles on them anyway. I got these at Walmart, and I can't remember the price, but not too expensive. So go and get yourself some pipe cleaners. For the funky bow, I like to use 3 different ribbons, and it comes together just beautifully. Wait till you see. And so for this one, for my little child's chair, I'm going to be using a solid green. I hope I have enough of this snowman ribbon. I like it because it has white in it and it's very festive. Now I was sort of thinking I might use this burlap ribbon though. Look at it. I like this one a lot too. It has some sparkles and has these little berries in it. And then lastly, I'm going to be using this black and white buffalo check that I got at Hobby Lobby, of course, on sale. And it's a large spool, so I have a lot to work with here. All right, guys, so we're going to start by taking our ribbons and we're going to be cutting 24-inch lengths of ribbon. And I have my little cutting guide here. You may or may not know that I'm also a scrapbooker and a card maker. And so I have this that I use for that craft as well. So since I'm making a 9-loop funky bow, I'm going to cut 3 lengths of ribbon for each of the colors that I'm using. And so there will be 3 of the green, 3 of the snowman, and 3 of the buffalo plaid. Guys, it is extremely important, I forgot to mention, that you are sure to buy ribbons with wires in them. And if you're not familiar with ribbon making, when you have a wire in the edges, you see how you can just press it down and it holds that shape. This is going to help you later when you are putting your bow together and then fluffing it out so it looks very pretty. And it just helps really make up for any mistakes you might have made in your bow making. They just simply don't even show up. Now the next step we're going to do is dovetail all the ends of the ribbon. So you can do 3 at a time from each of your little stacks. You simply fold the ribbon in half, and so from the fold right here, you cut down toward the tail, the end of the ribbon, and you will get a very nice dovetail. Isn't that pretty? So we do that before we actually start putting our bow together. I have my pipe cleaner here, and I'm actually going to fold it in half so it's ready to use when I have my bow put together. And this is not hard, but honestly, it is the most scary part of this process for me. And if you have ribbons that are two-sided, in other words, they look the same on both sides, especially when you're a beginner, it's easier to use two-sided ribbons. And 2 of mine are two-sided, but this one with the snowman, look, the back side is completely different. So that's going to take a little bit of fussing around, especially with the tails as we put it together. But I'll show you how we do that. So I'm measuring using my little measuring tool here to 5.5 inches. And then I'm going to pinch it together like this. And since I have two-sided ribbon, I'm not going to worry about anything with my tails. And what we're going to do is alternate. We're going to go from one to the other type of ribbon, and we're going to do one of each. So I'm switching now to my snowman ribbon. I'm going to fold it in half, measure 5.5 inches right here, and I'm going to pinch it together right here so they're side by side, and I'm holding this between my thumb and my index finger here. I have this little bunch. Okay, but the tricky part with this is, you see, if I leave it like this in the bow itself, it will have the wrong side of this ribbon showing on the tail. So I am going to twist that tail so it's facing forward. On the buffalo check ribbon, it doesn't matter because it is a two-sided ribbon. Okay, and then we're going to take a green one, and this gets a little tricky. You have to sort of juggle holding your bow tight in one hand and being able to measure and fold your other ribbon with the other hand. So I use my left hand. So I'm pinching it together. And again, this is a two-sided burlap ribbon here, so I don't have to do anything with the tails. So I now have 3, you can see them here, and they're being held together just by my thumb and my index finger. Okay? Next, we're going to go back to the buffalo check ribbon, and we're going to fold it in half. And remember to hold tight on your ribbons here in the other hand, and since I'm right-handed, I'm holding it with my left hand. So I found my 5.5 inches right here where my finger is, but this time I'm going to turn it upside down, place it under my thumb, pinch it together, and hold it. So here we go. We have a loop facing down and a buffalo check loop facing up. Can you see that? All right. Then we'll take our snowman ribbon. Same thing, fold it in half, find the 5.5 inch space. We're turning it upside down, placing it under my thumb and pinching it together. And then we have to twist this tail underneath so that it has the right side of the ribbon showing on the tail. So we're going to go ahead and twist it and then have it like this. It kind of looks like a big mess right now, but no worries. Wait till you see how we fluff it up when we put it together. So here we go again with the green ribbon. Whoopsie. And we'll go to 5.5. I've got my 5.5 spot, put it here under my thumb and pinch it together. So now, guys, I have 3 ribbons facing up, 3 ribbons with loops facing down, and we're going to do our last 3 ribbons. So we're going to start again with our buffalo check, and I'm going to go down with this first ribbon, the buffalo check, and I'm putting it under my thumb and I'm pinching it together. I really want you to be able to see that. See how that is? And then we're going to switch to the snowman ribbon. And because we have sort of an odd number of ribbons, we have 9. So we did 3 up, 3 down, and the last 3 I'm going to alternate. So the first one, the buffalo check, I just did facing down. Now with a snowman ribbon, I'm going to have that facing up. So it goes under my thumb right here and pinch it together. And then remember, we have the tail we have to twist around, this back tail. So I'm going to take it and twist it so it faces forward. Oopsie, I hope you could see that. So I twisted this one to face forward, And then I can just bring this tail down on top of it. And now we have our last ribbon, the green one, and this one we're going to do facing up. So we'll fold it in half, find the 5.5 inch mark, and this one is going to be facing up. So here we go. And I put it under my thumb and then pinch it together. Now, doesn't that look like a big mess? Does not look like it would make a very pretty bow. But we'll just put it together with this pipe cleaner and you will be astonished at how beautiful it will look together. So here's what we're going to do. Right now, I have all the ribbons here between my index finger and my thumb. Let's see if I can show you right there. And so I'm going to take this, I've already folded in half, and I'm going to place it in the middle here. And I'm going to lift up my thumb for a minute and just place it down, hold it down tight. And then we're going to twist the pipe cleaners around to the back like this. You can see them right here. They're twisted around to the back. And then I'm going to twist them as tight as I can, and I'm going to turn the whole bow while I hold the pipe cleaners, twist it about 3 times or so, and there's our bow. Doesn't look so great, does it? The wonderful thing about the way this is constructed is that you have these pipe cleaners left on the ends, and you can use these pipe cleaners to attach to, well, anything that's not too wide, you can attach these to. Just twist them around whatever item you want to use it on. Let's say you wanted to use it on a Christmas garland. It would be very easy to attach it using these pipe cleaners. So let's try to make this bow look a little bit more pretty. So all we do is we take these loops and we fluff them out. And this is a very resilient bow, so you can take and fluff, and you want to make sure that all 3 of your ribbons are showing. So you want to bring forward all of the loops, and these tails kind of fall in different places between the loops. And you can spread the tails out, and you can kind of turn them over and straighten them out. And you want the tails to show and look pretty also, but you, of course, especially want your loops to be showing. And you just work with it and work with it and work with it. And you can see that you can't even, the pipe cleaner in the center of the bow is not even showing at all. I was always astonished at when people were using bows on their decor, and I was like, oh my gosh, how in the world did they ever make that bow? It's like a mystery. But as you can see, it's not really a mystery, it's just learning a technique. And lots of people have these techniques on YouTube and, like I said, on their blogs. And it's not hard, you know, to learn at all once you watch someone who gives a good tutorial. It's an easy process, really, as you can see. Isn't it pretty? So you just play around with it and play around with it until the tails are all facing the right way and you have them the way you want them to look for your decor. And then And because they have wires in them, you can really pose the ribbons exactly how you want them to be. So here we go. I'm gonna kind of fluff it up one last time. Now remember, when I attach this to my little child's chair, it's probably going to get a little messed up. But I have my ribbons all put together to make a really pretty bow, and it's all ready for Christmas. So when it comes time in November for me to actually do all of my decor, I have this bow ready to attach to my chair, and oh my gosh, it's just going to be so, so cute. In the room, I'm going to be using this. I'm sort of going for a vintage farmhouse look, I think. And so that's why I chose these ribbons. But you can see, you can choose any selection of 3 ribbons that you like. And when you're purchasing them, just hold them up in the store and next to each other and see if you think they make a good combination, and then purchase those ribbons. All right, guys, so we're back for part 2, where we're going to make what is called a shoe tying bow. At least that's what I call it. Anyway, I have a lantern here. It's very pretty. Look at that. Isn't that cool, with the sort of stained glass look? And it has fairy lights inside. But I want to make just a simple bow for the top because this is not a large lantern. All right, so we have our ribbon tied around the top of the lantern. We're going to take this piece and make a loop. We're going to take the tail over here and turn it around so that the pretty side is showing of the ribbon. And then we're going to just push it through this side. And as I do, I'm twisting it so that the right side of the ribbon is showing on all sides. And we just have to play with it. Now remember, the very important thing is that we have a wired ribbon, like I said earlier. Very important, because with the wires, you can mold the ribbon to be the shape you want it to be, to make the loops, to have the tails come down exactly the way you want them to look on your piece, whether it's a lantern or any sort of like a chair, a garland, it doesn't matter. Now this is a very thick ribbon because it is made with this sort of burlap fabric, and so it does look very bunched up here at the top, and I don't really love that. So I'm going to pull it so that the loops are very short, and then I'm going to tighten it. And I'm going to pull it back again. Make sure my loops are facing out, and I'm going to pull it again to make it tight up here against the lantern. Pull, pull. This is really the key. Don't be afraid. The ribbon's not going to be hurt or changed in any way. So I see I have even loops on either side right now, and this one's still a little bit larger, and I want to keep pulling it until it is tight as it can be against the lantern. And then I think I have it the way I want it, and now I can fluff out my loops and my tails. Oopsie, wrong way. Tails, and I'll cut off this other tail here that is still connected to the spool of ribbon here. So as you can see, I have plenty left over for more projects. And I like my tails to be uneven, but what I'm going to do is dovetail the ends the way we did on the funky bow. So there we are with the shoelace bow on my lantern. And that was pretty easy, don't you think? And you just have to be patient and don't be afraid, because with wired ribbon, you can just go over and over it and it'll just be fine. Thank you all for watching, and I hope this tutorial was helpful for you and that you can go back. You know, when I use a tutorial, I often will watch it, put it on pause, rewatch certain parts until I get the concept down. And that's a great thing to do with this tutorial, just in case you're having a little trouble. And I have my really pretty bow here. Isn't it gorgeous? Looks a little weird, I think, on the camera, but here in person, it's just delightful. So as you can see, I have 2 bows done for my Christmas holidays, which will make my decorating quicker and easier later. And stay tuned, because I will be next having part 2, as I said earlier, of this tutorial with 2 other bows, including the one I'm going to use for my tree topper on my tree, which I'm going to put in my hearth room. And that's going to be my vintage tree, just for a little sneaky peeky idea. And I hope you'll enjoy watching when I decorate that a little later in the season. But, you know, these are bows that you're going to be able to make and use in your decor this Christmas. So stay tuned, as I said, and subscribe if you would like for more fun crafts, decor, houseplants, things that will make your home a very warm and welcoming place.